Hello, everybody, wherever you may be, from coast to coast and sea to shining sea. From a very rainy Pacific Northwest of the United States, I'd like to welcome you back to the Shack. It's Ham Radio Live.
Hovering by my suitcase, trying to find a warm place to spend the night.
Feels like it's raining all over the world, you know? It's one of those fall days that just hits you right in the mouth.
Heavy rain falling, seems I hear your voice calling, it's alright.
From the four winds of the world, thanks to Brook Benton for the music. Want to welcome you back to Ham Radio Live.
A rainy night in Georgia, a rainy night in Georgia. It seems like it's raining all over the world.
Thanks to Brook Benton. That's good to open. That's good. That was fun. Turn the brightness a little bit. Welcome to the show. It's good to see you guys. Very happy Monday. Different music, fun, because, you know, it's pouring here. It's the 15th day of November, 2021. We were spoiled over the weekend. Oh, my goodness. It wasn't sunny, but it was warm, like mid-60s. Very rare for this area. Say hello to some folks, and then we'll tell you why we're here, and we're grateful you are. All the way from the UK. First one in the Shack today. And this is really cool because he comes all the way from the UK, which means the lag to him on YouTube is quite extensive. Welcome, Sean. 2 Echo 0, 2 X-ray Bravo Tango. Sorry, 2 Echo 0, X-ray Bravo Tango. Sorry, mate. Good to see you. Welcome. Happy Monday. Monday evening. Late. Sorry we're late. I'll tell you this story in a moment. Mike in Jacksonville, welcome. Kilo Delta 2, C X-ray Delta. Good to see you, mate. Always a pleasure when you're here. Thank you for coming. Gunter from Germany. Wow, very late there. Woo. Hope you're, and by the way, Gunter also got a hold of me, said very heavy rain there in his part of the world. So, yeah, rain in a lot of places right now. Cliff Bolts, all the way in Virginia. Cliff, it's always my pleasure. I mean it. It's great to see you. Happy Monday, my friend. Whiskey Delta 4, Oscar Bravo Papa. Welcome, Cliff. Great to see you. And my mate, Sean, 2 Echo 0, Extra Bravo Tango. Don't forget, you know, we got a deal here with the RSUB, okay? I'll join. I really will. Yeah, new music. That was Brook Benton. You know, and I just felt like that kind of a day here because the wind is just blowing really hard, raining really hard. That was a fun opening. That was fun. Hi, Tom. Alpha Echo 1 Tango Papa Alpha 92 Golf Whiskey. Good to see you. Today should be a fun show. Should be a fun show. It is not stoner sound. That is pure soul, dude. That is soul music, man. Don't confuse the two. Brook Benton was awesome. He really was. Acid Drop's here. Hi, Acid Drop. Good to see you all the way in Ireland today. It's good to see you. My mate Andy Cowley, 2 Echo 0, X-ray, no, 2 Echo 0, Romeo, Echo. There you are. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Mark Taylor. Hi, Mark. Mike 7, Echo Sierra Sierra. Good evening to you in the UK. It's so good to see all you guys. Thanks for being there. Thank you, Tom. Mike is activating a POTA again. Again. For people that don't know what a POTA is, you go to a park, you bring a ham radio remote, right? And you just put it on the air and you start making calls. Mike is excellent at that. Keep up the good work, Mike. I'm really proud of you. You do a great job with that. And Tom, yeah, bands are not really good. We're going to talk about that in the weather here in just a moment. First of all, we're here to help you try to get an amateur radio. That's truly it, okay? Find a national radio group or society, depends on where you're at in the world. Let them know that you'd like to be in ham radio. And then let them know where you're located. That's a big key. Once you do that, that national group will get back in touch with you. They'll find you a radio club that's really close by. You contact the club and get to know them better. They'll even help you get licensed. One of them is the Radio Society of Great Britain. Find them at www.rsgb.org. In the U.S., there's the American Radio Relay League at www.arrl.org. In Canada, the Radio Amateurs of Canada, www.rac.ca. If you're over in Japan, the Japan Amateur Radio League, www.jarl.org. In Australia, where it's warm and springtime, and we're all jealous of that, contact the Wireless Institute of Australia, www.wia.org. If you'd like to say hello, you have an email suggestion or comment, feel free to hit me up at cqhamradiolive@gmail.com. Happy Monday to you and Tuesday for the folks that are over in Australia. Thank you for coming today. It's great to see you. A quick hello to Greg, Kilo Fox 0, Charlie Union Zulu. He's here from Bettendorf, Iowa. Great to see you. And Mike, yeah, Ben's not great as well. So, yeah, I'm seeing that on my end, too. It's same stuff. Okay, first of all, guests. I got a hold of Alex today. We're working on maybe December the 14th at 20 UTC to have him on, talk about his radio channel on here on YouTube, and he'll be live here in about 2 hours. Look for him on YouTube at W7HU. He has a great channel, and he does his best to make calls. He's got a directional beam. He works the world. Alex is a great guy. W7 Hotel Uniform. We'll try and have him on live to take your questions on December the 14th. Will Jourdain this Saturday. This is going to be a fun show. Looking forward to that. That's this Saturday at 20 UTC. That's 8 p.m. London, 3 p.m. in the Eastern Time Zone of the United States or in Canada, and noon if you're on the West Coast of North America, 20 UTC. Please join us for Will Jourdain. That'll be a fun show. Richard Stubbs, my mate from MFJ comes back, and I'm so excited for this show. I really am. Richard's a good guy. He's funny as heck. He is really funny, and he's going to come with a discount code for you to buy some MFJ gear. That's going to happen a week from tomorrow, so Tuesday, November 23rd at 20 UTC. Again, noon Pacific North America, 3 p.m. in the East, 8 p.m. if you're in London. Fred Denon, really good guy, and he's got quite an interesting, the next two are going to be really interesting shows. He has a company called BeLoud.us. Now, Fred is based out of Georgia, but he's got lots of these superstations set up throughout the East Coast, as well as one in Bon Air. You can control it from your home computer and do everything. Be the target of DX or chase it. Simple. And he'll show you how it's done. Saturday, November 27th at 20 UTC. That's noon Pacific North America, 3 p.m. in the East, and 8 p.m. London. Then Matt Missenmacher, Lima Union 2, Alpha Charlie Hotel, joins us at 20 UTC on December 4th. That'll be a Saturday show talking about his brand new ham radio app for your phone, tablet, or computer called Super QSO. You can download it free on your Apple Google Play Store, and it is an amazing app, really is. He'll verify that you're a ham, and once he does, you're part of the group. It's like Facebook for ham radio. Pretty neat stuff. So we'll have some great guests coming. Hope you enjoy those shows. Be fun. Be fun to do that. So let's catch up with your comments, and then we'll get to the weather, which is not, it's not great today, as you have already talked about. And definitely people are trying to work. Mike is trying to work on 20 before he packs up. Let him know, if you can want to work him. He's on 20 meters, Kilo Delta 2, Sierra X-ray Delta. There's something to be said about people that go remote, like Gunter and Mike. They bring their gear out on the road and they work out in the elements, right? Uh-huh. If you want to work Mike, he'll tell you what frequencies he's on, and hopefully you'll work him. Gary is here from Las Vegas, Nevada. Hi, Gary. Good afternoon. Nice to see you, Gary. Thanks for coming. His call sign, Whiskey 9 Papa Yankee. It's always my pleasure to say hello to you, Gary. Thanks for coming. Good friend of mine is in radio there at KLUC, Chet Buchanan. We share the same birthday. Chet's a dear friend of mine on KLUC radio there. Good guy. Yeah. And Tom, looking forward to seeing Richard. I am too. That's going to be a fun show. I love Richard to pieces. So, Sean, if you got a trivia question tonight, Larry, I'll sit out today. I have 2 trivia questions. Two for you. My brother Bob, WIFI, is here. Hi, Bob. Good to see you. And then Mike is going to pack up the gear and listen to the show. Well, thank you for doing that. That's very nice. Tom got an email from Victor Echo 3 Tango Whiskey and Mike today. Hey, you got that from Gunter. Sorry, Gunter. Congratulations. That's pretty cool. Let's get to the weather powered by ICOM. ICOM, for the love of ham radio. Here is your A1A. It looks a bit bleak. Okay, I could play the Brook Benton song again, right? Just pop this right in, but we're not going to go there. Let's just say it could be better. Backside of the sun, here's the good news, okay? Take a look at 2895 and 2894. They're coming our way. By midweek Thursday, somewhere around there, our numbers are going to come back up again, and significantly. Here's your coronal hole map. Nothing imminent right now. Solar stability has been real good the last 3 days, and our noise floor just jumped up to a K4. Perfect. This makes things loud. So, but it has been quite low. So keep an eye on your noise floors. If it is noisy, if you see like a K4, please make sure and keep your headphone volume down so you'll have your hearing for a long time. Okay, here's your MUF map, courtesy of November 0, November Bravo Hotel. Alaska is at 18.43, so good conditions up there. 22.83 out of Boulder, 20.68 out of Chickamauga. See, the numbers are quite lower, but much lower from last week. I mean, Ascension Island last week was over 40 megahertz. Now, 24.72. Of course, it's dark there, but, still, they were even in the dark well over 30 last week. Athens, Greece at 6.04. Nive Island, 20.32. And Darwin, wake it up to 13.58 megahertz. The current conditions out of Boulder, SFI down to 79, solar number is way down to 23, A index is 4, K is 2. This is why things are bad. It's a very low solar flux index number, and it just won't support really good communications. BZ latitude also is very high. It really is, 15.6 degrees, and that means it's 15.6 degrees pointed north. Okay, when it goes more south and it's a lower number, it's better for communications. Solar wind is at 425.7 kilometers per second. You can see the HF band conditions. It's pretty close. I don't think they're too far off. The Kilo Charlie 2 Golf map, courtesy of Mike Kilo Delta 2 Sierra X-ray Delta. You can see pretty much what QRZ is saying. 17 megahertz right there in Alaska. If you're in North America, if you're in the north, you're running 20 to 23 megahertz, 20 in the west, 23 if you're in the northeast. Down in Florida, you can get 24, so maybe a little bit of 12 meters, but not much. If you're in South America, the bright spot really is right around Rio de Janeiro, 41 megahertz. 30 megahertz more to the north in Brazil. Even in the center of the Atlantic, you're at 24 megs. If you're in Europe tonight, you'll be running 40 meters. You're at 10 megahertz. Same with the south part of Europe and Italy. You're at 10 megahertz. Even 10 megahertz in the Middle East. So, yeah, 40 meters for all you folks there. And then when you get out to the Far East, you go out to, people in Japan, you're on 40. But look at Australia. There's no numbers there, but really close to working 20 meters. So, your forecast. Powered by ICOM. ICOM for the love of ham radio. Daytime ham radio bands for voice today. Northern Hemisphere 20, 17, and 15. That'll be it. Your equatorial latitudes and south 20, 17, 15, 12, and possible 10. I don't know you sure get 10 or not. We'll see. Better conditions, however, later this week. So coming later this week, about Wednesday, Thursday, you'll start seeing the SFI start to rise on Wednesday and Thursday, and then it's going to get really nice. So hang in there. Conditions are better. Nighttime ham band tonight, 160, 80, 75, 60, 40, 30. Your best DX is on 40, but 20 will work brilliantly at Gray Line. Shortwave bands today, 31, 25, 22, and 19. Tonight on your shortwave bands, good DXing. There's some good DX out there. 120, 90, 75, 60, 49, 41, 31, 25, 22. And the southern hemisphere and the equatorial latitudes, you get a 100% chance of 19 meters. Work until a little about an hour or so after sunset, maybe a little later than that. But right now, if you're going to work in the nighttime for shortwave, listen to some great stuff. Look on 49. 49 is a bellwether band for shortwave. 25 is too. Great stuff on both those frequencies. All right. Happy Monday to you. It's good to see you. Took a while to get here. I was ready to do the show. Like I told my wife this morning at like 8 a.m., I think I'll do a show today. She's like, that's great. You should do that. Yeah. And then the errands start coming. I'm at the store. I get my stuff right. I'm saying, okay. And the one thing I hate in life is I don't like to have to go back in the store. Don't make me go back in the store, Mom. So I get out and she told me, she's like, do you like tapioca pudding? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, I was wondering if maybe you might want to go back in and get some tapioca pudding. So I went in there and I got more tapioca pudding, and then we had to come back. I said, well, do you need anything else for the pudding? Yeah. Could you get some whole milk too? Oh, there's that moment when your mind explodes. So sorry, we're a little late today. It's the way life works. You just make the most out of it. Andy knew my shortwave mate, Mike 7 3000, was it Mike Hotel 7? No, Mike Hotel 3007 SWL. I think that's it. Andy knew, welcome and good luck on taking your test, foundation test. You'll get that. Good help there, by the way, especially if you join a radio club. That's what the key really is. Hi, Rod. Good evening. Whiskey 3 miles per gallon in Pennsylvania. Nice to see you. Good. It's always good to see you. My goodness. And Acid Drop, always a pleasure when you're here. Thank you. Adam is here from Ocala, Florida. November Yankee 5 Echo. Hey, Larry and all your streamers. Sorry to hop on late. No, you're fine. You're just fine. Kel is here. Lima Bravo 0 Yankee India. Welcome to Norway. It's nice to see you guys. Trivia question number 1. And a story behind it. This is going to be a fun trivia question. I want to thank Randy Hall, Kilo 7 Alpha Golf Echo, for helping to provide some of the story after this. I hope you enjoy the question. Here it is. What were the call letters of the 500,000 watt? That's not a misprint. 500,000 watt standard AM radio station in Cincinnati, Ohio, that caused residential light bulbs in the vicinity of the antenna to glow while the wall switch was in the off position. This is no lie. This really happened. I'm not kidding. Was it A, KDKA, B, KMOX, C, WLW, or D, WKRP? Hit me up with A, B, C, or D. One per person, please. One per person, please, first round. And we'll let you know who gets it right. Okay? This is a neat question because it's the only radio station in history in the U.S. that worked at 500,000 watts. And it was done by an amplified transmitter. Literally, it was a 50,000 watt transmitter that had an amplifier with it, but there was a ton of work that went into it. And it's a pretty cool story. So let's get back to it. All right. People are flying in with answers. Okay. First one in. Very first one that came in, Cliff Bolts, out of the state of Virginia, KDKA. KDKA actually was the first commercial radio station that came on the air, Cliff, and that came out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It was owned by Westinghouse. It was the first commercial broadcaster in the U.S. In fact, first one in the world, to be honest. Hang on a second. So KDKA is very, very historic, but that's not the right answer to this question. Good guess. Tom, Alpha Echo 1, Tango Papa, Alpha 92 Golf Whiskey, and Bahrain said C, WLW, and he got it correct. Good job, Tom. It was WLW. Yeah. Good work, man. That's very good. And also, thank you, Jeff. 5'9" in Eastern Tennessee. Thank you, Jeff. November 4, Papa Oscar Delta. Thank you. Cliff Bolts got A. Tom had C. Adam had C. Rod had C. Jeff had C. Mike had C. A lot of folks got it right. Sean with D. Kjell in Norway. That's awesome. That's amazing to get that right all the way to Norway. Congrats on that. Acid Drop also had C. Gunter in Germany had C. And Jason Duddington, my main in the gym. I've known Jason for many years, like a kid to me. I wanted to be WKRP in Cincinnati. If only, Jason. Thanks for that. That's brilliant. Thanks, buddy. I so wanted to be WKRP. Johnny Fever. Big star. Yeah. Andy New had it, so did Andy Cowley. Mark Taylor had D. Gary Strong had D. And this was really fun. It really was, because it was an interesting time in radio, okay? Here was the building, okay, before they went 500,000. This was it. It was owned by Crosley Radio, a company that's long gone now, no longer in business. That's it. Here was the building site where the 500,000 watt powerhouse was built. It literally was interesting because they built this thing, and part of it was built with the actual shipping crates from the transmitter. The transmitter is huge. You're going to see a video on that from my friend Randy K7AG here in a moment. Take a look at this. This is beautiful, right? Makes it look nice. Nice fountains out there. And there's the transmitter building looking beautiful with the beautiful sky. But those fountains are there for a reason, because inside the water are glass tubes to help cool all of the amplifier tubes in the 500,000 watt transmitter. This is no lie. Take a look. There's the tubes, and there's water jackets around them just to keep them cooled down. From my friend Randy, K7AGE, thanks to him, credit to his channel. Please watch it at K7AGE here on YouTube. It's well worth the watch. A little history of WLW.
Building, the front half of this building, and over in the field over here put up a tower and another one in the back, with the white building out there as the center point between those two towers, and put another flat top up, and bought a Western Electric Model 7C transmitter, which we're going to see the sort of the pieces of, and actually the building out here is built out of the white building is built out of the packing crates that the transmitter was shipped in. We've actually verified that. We went out, pulled the ceiling tiles down, and the Western Electric stamps are on the wood. Okay? So they installed the 50 kilowatt transmitter out here. WLW was one of the first 50 kilowatt stations, but Powell wasn't satisfied with 50 kilowatts. So that happened in 1928, and he began thinking about the next 10 dB and what it would take. And at the same time, vertical radiators were coming along and people were getting away from flat tops. So he contracted with Blah Knox and built what was originally an 831-foot vertical radiator. It was 831 because there was a mast a lot taller than the one on top that was on the tower. The idea was build an antenna that could handle 500 kilowatts. And they then went to RCA, who was not in the transmitter business at that point in time. RCA was more of a project manager, and RCA took on the job of designing and building the 500 kilowatt amplifier. Not a transmitter, but an amplifier, because it was a power supply, a modulator, and an RF deck that was driven off the 50 kilowatt Western Electric transmitter. Contracted for in 19...
So there you go. It was an amplified transmitter, and literally they had to dig out underneath the brick building just to put the giant generators down there to generate enough power to power up the RF deck. Unbelievable. And I really recommend, if there's a video I could recommend to you, because I'm not shy about recommending other people's YouTube stuff, because that's what this channel is about. If there's somebody out there that can show you something more, I want you to know about it. Please watch that video. It's amazing. The whole tour is on there, and Randy did it. K7AGE here on YouTube. Great work. And Randy, thank you for letting me use that video. All right, your second trivia question today on a Monday. Which of the following choices would be the least effective type of terrain as a natural counterpoise? Okay, so we're talking about ground radials, okay? We're talking about good base soil or, condition for your ground radials. Would it be A, freshwater swampland, B, layered soil, C, sandy loam, or D, solid rock? Now, keep in mind, this is the least effective, not the most. The least, not the best. Okay. A, B, C, or D. Right now, by the way, I need to check with Tom because the world has 80 and North America is stuck at 30. Tom, let me know which is going to go to the world or North America, okay? Again, which of the following choices would be the least effective type of terrain as a natural counterpoise? And we'll talk about this to show you what we're talking about and why it's the way it is, okay? The least effective. A, freshwater swampland. B, layered soil. C, sandy loam. Or D, solid rock. Okay, let's get up to your answers for this question. Let's see. And by the way, Mark got an idea for a project. I love that. Hit me up on the show's email. Let me know what it is, because I'd love to be able to do it. We'll be happy to do it, okay? And Gunter, thank you. Happy Monday to everyone entering the room. What a nice thing to say. John Hummel Newell, Victor Echo 5, Juliet Hotel November says hello. First one in. Cliff Bolts with the solid rock, the least effective for natural counterpoise. And Cliff, you got it. Congratulations. Good. We're in double points for North America for a while. We have to. So we at least have 40 in North America, 80 for the world. Yeah, it is solid rock. Let's see who else answered the question. Andy Kelly had A. And keep in mind, we're talking about the least effective type of soils. Tom had C. Adam had D. And Gunter, don't forget to hit the like button. That's very nice. Kjell in Norway had D. Acid drop. Good. D. Very well done. Mark had D as well. And Tom, Merca. That's so funny. All right. America's up now. North America is up to 50. So it's only 80 to 50 now. That's good. All right. Also answering, Gunter had A. Jeff in Tennessee had D. Andy had D. And let's find out why. Okay. First of all, you can measure your soil conductivity with a soil conductivity meter. Yep. Like this one right here made by Hannah. You simply dip it into the ground and it'll give you a reading of just how, well your soil will be able to work for your HF radio antenna. Okay. Also, this is what things look like. Conductivity and frequency. Okay, this is all basically, you're almost very low frequency here to HF 30. Okay, so on 10 meters. So if you go to the top, the very best you can do for a counterpoise would be like a rice paddy. Okay, very moist soil. Okay, that's great. And there's a reason why you see many AM radio stations that are near water. This is why, because they reflect the signal much better than if they were like in the sand and dry. Okay. Next would be rich agricultural land. Reason again, because it's rich. It's got lots of soil conductivity. There's water. It's moist. It's good. Next is going to come pastoral land. Medium hills and forests. Those are good. They're not as effective as a rice paddy, but they're also not soaking wet either. Next is mountains, rocky, steep hills. Now, this doesn't mean that they don't work, but take a look at the conductivity. You're now either just below 1 or slightly above it. Okay. And when you get to rocky areas, you're going to be below 1. Okay. Last is flat desert and cities. Lots of concrete, right? Lots of sand, no moisture. That's why. That's the reason why. Here's a look at the U.S. Soil conductivity map. Okay. Going all the way down to Florida. Look at that. It's a big number, 9. Up in the north part of Maine and New England, it's a 1. Okay. And of course, it's hard to see everything here, but it gives you an idea of the soil conductivity by the United States Geological Survey and what they have found to be accurate, So soil conductivity, it matters. It matters more for how well your ground system is going to work with your vertical radio antenna. It's a neat thing. I love that question, by the way. It's fun to add that one. That was neat. We're going to, Tom, you remembers the, I can't believe you actually remember this, to be honest. Mighty 690 WAP in Jacksonville, Florida. AM 50 kilowatt station was near Swamp and Sea, had a huge signal. Yeah, they do. You'll find clear channel stations. Typically will be, those are class A and they're 50,000 watts or better. Not or better, but 50,000 watts. But they're usually in transmitter sites that are moist, very moist conditions. Good answers, you guys. It's been a fun trivia question today. Okay, I want to show you a video. I made it last night, and it really is about a way that you can check your radio, how well you're transmitting, okay? You can check where your signal is going. You can check how well it's going. And keep in mind, this is going to change from day to day. It just depends on propagation. But it's an easy way to check. And the most beautiful part is you can use your phone. Let's take a look. Hi, everybody. I'm going to show you a way that I like to work to see how my rig's getting out. And there's lots of different ways that you can, do things in terms of, checking through a dummy load, right? But what about how far your signal's really going? There's a really easy way to do this, and it's simple. You can even do it from your phone. Really easy. What I do is I like to type into Kiwi SDR, okay? And Kiwi SDR is something pretty simple to use. If you simply go to kiwisdr.org, let me back up here a little bit, and you just select it here on your search engine, click on it, and then select where you want to, listen in. Okay. So I'm going to check California. I want to hear about 500 miles from here. So here's Half Moon Bay, California. I just want to hear how things are going. I'm on 75 meters. So, it's not expected to go a ton of distance. Make sure that you click lower sideband. All right. I'm currently on 3983. And so what I'm going to do is check frequency availability. And then what we'll do is we'll listen only on the Kiwi SDR. Here it is right here. And we'll just check frequency. Okay. Again, this is coming in from about 500 miles away on it's kind of the Northern California coast still, almost Central California. So let's hear how it goes. Okay. I'll try and speak away from the microphone here. Okay. Just a second. All right, so an S5, okay? S5 into Northern California. But if you take a moment and listen how things change, for example, let's try 40, okay? So we'll move up to 40 meters on the rig. Same location, all right? We'll be at 7178. We'll change here, and this is simple to do with Kiwi. You just simply, click on the frequency itself and just type in the frequency. You don't need to use a decimal point. So 7178, enter, and we'll take a listen, make sure we're not stepping on anybody. So we'll make sure that we have, good audio. So let's take a quick listen. Again, this is also coming from the same location, Half Moon Bay, California. So on 40 meters, technically, we should be jumping over this area. Hearing somebody. Let's just make sure. Yeah, someone's there. Okay, easy way to change this, a simple way to change it without having to type in new frequency is just hit the biggest plus arrow, okay? It's going to put you up 1 kc. So you're going to 1 kilohertz. That's it. So I'll do the same move on the radio, and we'll be at 7179. So here's the rig, 7179, and here is the feed coming in from Kiwi in Half Moon Bay on 40 now. So we're here at an S5 on 75. Let's hear 40, see if it comes in. Again, I'll mute my mic so you can hear me. We'll see if we can hear any of the signal on the web SDR out of Half Moon Bay, California. Now I just checked frequency. You can see it on the screen going down in the yellow, right? See that? Nothing there. Okay. So a good way, so now we know we're probably skipping over California, at least Half Moon Bay. So let's go out a little farther. Let's take a look down. And what's nice about this is also there's Southern California at Elsinore Peak. So we'll take a listen here. We'll be in the same frequency. We're going to go to 7179. And again, we'll listen carefully and make sure we're not, stepping on someone first. I'm not seeing anybody on my screen, but this is roughly another 250 miles south, so about 750 to 800 miles south. And we'll check frequency. I'll mute my microphone. We'll just hear from the SDR. See, not a word, nothing. So that means 40 is going longer than California. Okay, so what's nice is you can pick different areas. Even like if you're outside the U.S. and you want to go to a different location, you can do that too. Like, Arizona, not finding anything there. Let's just try Texas just for fun. I don't know if it'll go that far, but we'll take a look. Let's listen out of West Texas because that's going to be a little bit closer. And we'll check the same frequency. So we'll be at 7179. And once you do that, hit enter. Pretty noisy there. See all the RFI? Let's just listen, see if we can hear anything. And you could not hear a thing. Not a word. Okay. So what's nice is there's lots of places to search. And even if you're outside of the United States, for example, all right, let's say you're in the UK, okay? You just type in Germany, okay? Germany is what, about 400 or 500 miles away. So you just type in Germany and look at all the German SDRs. See, tons of them, and maybe you want to, check in Sweden. Okay, there's Sweden. If you spell it right, it even works better, right? Sorry. Oh my gosh. All right, there we go. So see, lots of SDRs all over the world, and they're everywhere. France, there's just a list of them everywhere. So these are a really good way to take a look at your radio and kind of get an idea of where you're being heard, because sometimes you're not being heard in some places, but you are in others because of the way Skip works. Okay, so we're going to take a listen now out of Fort Collins, Colorado. Not sure if we'll hear it, but we'll see if we can. All right. I'll mute the mic. We'll take another listen, make sure we're on lower sideband. And that's something to always check. Make sure that you're on the correct type of modulation, okay? So we're on lower sideband at 7.179 megahertz. Just one moment. And just checking, nothing there. So, nothing in Colorado. Interesting, right? So let's bring it in a little closer. We'll go and keep in mind too, antennas can also be slightly directional. It's the way they work. Look carefully though. One of these is an east pointing beam. You don't want that one. You want one that's going to be omnidirectional. Or, if you're to the east of the, receiver, that's not a bad idea. So 7179, this is out of Utah. So this is roughly about 800 miles away to the southeast of me. Take a listen. Just barely in the background. I mean, barely in the background there. We'll see if I can, get you another listen of this here. And I'll check frequency one more time. Hang on.
Checking frequency availability. This is Kilo 7 Hotel November.
See, there you go. Now, interesting, strange enough, and again, this is how propagation works, okay? If we go back to that same SDR in Half Moon Bay, California, right, where we first started, that's roughly about, I think it's about 550 miles as the crow flies from where I'm at. We probably will not hear the signal because it's, it's going over, it's in the skip zone. Let's listen. Okay, just gave the call, not a word. So we'll back up and see, that's how it works. I mean, it's a good way for you to get an idea, not only the direction that your antenna is resonating, but also how far. It's a good, cheap, and easy way to do it. That's how I like it. I mean, something that you can use from your phone, right? And just try it. We're going to try again out of Elsinore Peak, California, which is Southern California. We'll take a quick listen and try one more time. Not a word. So let's try this. Let's go to Hawaii. We'll see if we can hear us in Hawaii. Usually it works fine from Hawaii, but you never know. Propagation can be weird, right? So this is actually 2,500 miles away, but it's over water. And the first bounce that I get from here is over the Pacific Ocean. So move over to lower sideband. And I think we got someone there. Yep. So find an open frequency. Again, just press the far right plus button, and that's it. Again, this is coming straight out of the Maui, Hawaii SDR. So find an open frequency, and then tune your radio to the same frequency where you're listening. A little bit, still a little bit. Okay. So, show you the rig real quick. We changed frequency up to 7.184. Let's take a look at the Kiwi SDR, and we'll bring the audio back up. And we'll see, let me just listen. All right, I'm going to tune real quick, and we will give it a shot. Again, we're on 40 meters at 7.184 into the middle of the Pacific. There you go. Okay. Interesting, right? So you can hear the frequency check in places like, and just one moment here, just one moment, please. Kilo 7 Hotel November QRT. So, you can hear the frequency check into Northern California, which is roughly about 500 miles from me on 75 meters. We go to 40. You can hear it out of Utah, but not Colorado. Okay. You can hear it in Hawaii, which is like 3 times the distance of Utah, but over salt water. Makes a big difference. Again, Kiwi SDR, simple to use. Simply put it onto your phone, type it up. It's not an app. It's simply something you type in your search bar, and then just try and use it that way. Just type in kiwisdr.org, and then you'll be able to select an SDR anywhere close or far and see how far you're transmitting. Just a little tip. Try and help you out with your rig next time. Thanks for watching. It's a good help to know where you're being heard, because sometimes we get frustrated, right? Or just like we're not making calls. What's going on? But then when we check SDRs that are close, you know, right? You know if you're being heard and where you're being heard. A nice, easy tool. And again, I've done it hundreds of times just from your phone. Just type in Kiwi SDR, pick a location, maybe, 500 to 1,000 miles from you, and start to see where your antenna goes. You might be surprised. Maybe get some directionality there. It's fun. It's kind of fun to do that. And part of the reason for new hams is because of the way the ionosphere works, okay? During the day, you're not going to make good calls on 40 or on 75 and 80 or 160 because the D layer absorbs most of the signal. We've talked about that before. If you go, and it won't absorb all of it, you can make reasonable calls during the day, but it just won't go as far as 20 and 17 will, because those bounce out of the D layer, shoot straight through, go to the E and F layer, and you're trying to hit the F layer if you can. So 40 meters at night typically will go as far. I mean, you can go as far as, 75, 80. Just depends on the conditions. That's the whole point. It's interesting. I started thinking about this last night, and I've made calls to Australia on both 75 and 40, but most of my real long calls have been 40, but at night, not during the day. All right, let's catch up with your comments, and we'll close the show. This is a little show about how you can check how your radio's doing and where it's working and how well it's working from distance. I hope you enjoyed that segment. It's been fun. I've been watching you guys talk about the weather. It's been like, oh boy, is this show that boring or what? Thanks. No, I'm just joking. I'm just playing with you guys. Thank you for making this a fun day for me, an enjoyable time too, because I enjoy doing the shows. Thank you for all that you do. Okay. My name's Larry. My call sign is Kilo 7 Hotel November. Welcome to Al Gross, truck driver. Last time he was here, he checked in from Southern California. He's all the way in LaGrange, Georgia now. Safe driving, Al. Safe driving to you, my friend. I mean that. All right, we want to get you an amateur radio. Contact someone like the Radio Society of Great Britain at www.rsgb.org. Hit the contact us bar. Tell them where you're at. They'll find a radio club near you to help you get on the air and get your ham license. Pretty simple stuff. This sign up is from the city. That's what they call it, the city. It's called San Francisco to most of us. But, if you're a local, you call it the city. KRON in San Francisco. God bless you, wherever you may be, and thanks for watching Ham Radio Live. See you tomorrow, everybody, and goodbye.
This concludes the broadcast day for KRON-TV, Channel 4, San Francisco.
Hey, Dash,
KRON-TV
thanks for
is
coming,
owned
buddy.
and operated by the Chronicle Broadcasting
All the way from
Company,
Trinidad.
with
That's an
studios
honor
at
to me.
Television Center and transmitter atop Mount Sutro. Good night.